न भूमिर्न तोयं न तेजो न वायुः न खं नेन्द्रियं वा न तेषां समूहः अनैकान्तिकत्वात् सुषुप्त्येकसिद्धः तदेको वशिष्ठः शिवः केवलोऽहम् तदेको वशिष्ठः शिवः केवलोऽहम्।
करुणाः पूर्णसुधाब्धे कबलितघनविश्वरूपकिरणावल्या अरुणाचलपरमात्मन् अरुणो भवचित्तकञ्जसुविकासाय त्वयि अरुणाचल सर्वं भूत्वा स्थित्वा प्रलीनम् एतच्चित्रं हृद्यहमित्यात्मतया नृत्यसि भोः ते वदन्ति हृदयं नाम अहमिति कुत आयातीत्यन्विष्यान्तः प्रविष्टयात्यमलधिया अवगम्य स्वं रूपं शाम्यत्यरुणाचलत्वयि नदीवाब्धौ त्यक्त्वा विषयं बाह्यं रुद्धप्राणेन रुद्धमनसान्तस्त्वां ध्यायन् पश्यति योगी दीधितिम् अरुणाचलत्वयि महीयं ते त्वयि अर्पितमनसा त्वां पश्यन् सर्वं तवाकृतितया सततं भजते अनन्यप्रीत्या स जयत्यरुणाचलत्वयि सुखे मग्नः हृदयकुहरमध्ये केवलं ब्रह्ममात्रं ह्यहमहमिति साक्षादात्मरूपेण भाति हृदि विषमनसा स्वं चिन्वता मज्जता वा पवनचलनरोधात् आत्मनिष्ठो भवत्वम् अपारसच्चित्सुखवारिराशेः यस्योर्मिमात्रं भुवनं समस्तं गुहाहितं तं रमणं गभीरं चिन्ताविहीनं हृदि चिन्तयामि श्रुत्यर्थगोचरं वन्दे वाच्यार्थानामगोचरं लक्ष्यार्थवपुषं वन्दे शङ्करं देशिकं गुरुं श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानामालयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादशङ्करं लोकशङ्करम्। Our Chaturmasya Kala Swadhyaya Yajna all these days we have been listening to the story and teachings of Bhagavan Sankaracharya. Just now we saw Sankaracharya reached the southernmost corner, Kerala, and from there he entered Tamil Nadu, which is generally called as Dravida Desha. Kerala is called as Parashurama Kshetra. About 60 or 50 years back, Akhandananda Saraswati Swami, one of the greatest exponents of Bhagavatam in North, and a Padavakya Pramanajna, a Brahmanishta, Shrotriya who came in the Parampara, who belonged to the Parampara of Joshi Math. Such a great Mahatma. He has even come here to see Bhagavan also, those period. So when he was in Coimbatore for some Ayurvedic treatment, one of his disciples, Swami Prabhuddhanandaji, told me this story. He asked, from here, how much distance is Kerala? He said it's about less than 50 kilometers. So, can anyone take me in a car, a little distance inside? So, they took him in a car and they crossed the border. They didn't even enter inside. It's a forest area actually. In those days it is completely a forest area. It's Valayar. So there they stopped the car and Swamiji got down and did a namaskara and touched the earth and kept it in his head and said, "This is the sacred land which gave birth to Bhagavan Bhashyakara." So that was his bhava. So from there, Bhagavad-pada's travel started again towards Tamil Nadu and now to Tiruvannamalai. Now Sankaracharya is in Arunachala, in our story part. And we are listening to the story. I have told this story many times, but now we are listening to the story from Tiruvannamalai. So the story, the story of Krishna or Rama or any saint or sages, it is not actually a story, it is a medicine for samsara roga, the disease of samsara. It is a mystical process by which your mind is withdrawn from the world and what they call an intravenous injection is given unknowingly, through which dispassion, devotion, discrimination is all 3 Ds. It is vitamin D injection. So vitamin D injection, triple D injection is given. Kathayimaste kathita mahiyasam vitaya lokeshu yashaf pareyusham. As Bhagavata, Bhagavan Vyasa says, these are all kathas, stories of great beings. Those who lived and moved here like effulgent sun, they left their story, they left their divine fragrance and vanished. They although vanished, what remains after their going is the fragrance of their life. Vitaya lokeshu yashaha pareyusham. You listen to this story, what you will get? Vijnana vairagya vivakshaya. You will get vijnana and vairagya. You will get dispassion, discrimination, devotion, fearlessness, purity of mind, everything. Vacho vibhutihi. Don't do research in past stories. Vyasa very carefully gives you a warning. Don't go into the factualities of these stories. Whether this happened like this, what is the date, whether it is BC or AD, all this utter foolish research don't do. Na paramarthya charcha karaniya. Don't do that. The purpose is, it is a mystical, what they call is vibhuti. Vibhuti means special manifestation. In the form of transcendental language, you can say. He has created a special creation. Tadvag visargaha. This is Bhagavata Vyasa has given the explanation. Tadvag visargaha. A special creation with vak, with words. And what will that do? Janatagha viplavaha. It removes the sin, the mental frailties, mental flaws. Janatagha viplavaha. Esmin pratishrogam abaddavatyapi. Even if it is written in very poor language, even if spoken in poor language, a lot of mistakes, pratishrogam. Every step there is abadha, means flaw, mistake. Namani anantasya yashonkitani yat shrunvanti gayanti grinanti sadhavaha. When you listen to the glory of the Lord, to the glory of this knowledge, the spiritual knowledge, then your mind becomes pure. And all the sages, all the saints, they accept it. So this is the purpose of this narration. So when Sankaracharya comes to Tiruvannamalai, yesterday itself somebody asked, is it there in Shankara Vijayam, this story? It is not in Shankara Vijayam. It is in Shankarabhyudaya. It's another work. It's a Shankarabhyudaya. From there only I read that. And Bhagavan has spoken somewhere about Shankaracharya's visit to Tiruvannamalai. And there is some strange, noble manifestation, divine manifestation here also. The most well-known work of Sankaracharya in the stotras, Dakshinamurti-Stava, that was written here. That we will see. So, Bhagavad Pada entered Arunachala. And Arunachala, what is Arunachala? It is the Agni Linga, the linga of fire. And what kind of fire? It is the fire of Jnana, Jnanagni. Jnanagni sarvakarmani bhasmasat kurute. It is the fire of Jnanam. Now, Narayanan sang that Dikshidhar Panjalinga Kriti, Arunachalanatham, and then what? Jambupate. It is Jalalinga Kirtanam. And Chidambara, all the Panjalinga Kshetras, Dikshidhar has written Kirtanas. So, Bhagavan Shankaracharya came to Arunachala. Bhagavan Ramana Maharshi came to Arunachala in our times. All of us have come to Arunachala. And what is truly coming to Arunachala? Bhagavan said, outwardly Arunachala is there. And when Bhagavan came to Tiruvannamalai and looked at the hill, Achalama Kanden, Bhagavan says, first I had the vision of the hill. Then inwardly, Ishvara spoke to me, gave me the Upadesha. He said, don't look at me, look at yourself. One day Bhagavan was looking at Arunachala, gazing at Arunachala. Somebody asked Bhagavan, Annamalaya Pakarda, Bhagavan, are you looking at Arunachala? Bhagavan said, no, I am looking at myself. So Arunachala is there, and the look turned inward. It's a mysterious phenomenon. That is the sign of a divine manifestation. In Bhagavata, in Krishna Avatara, Krishna is there. Vasudeva is looking at him. It's a small child, very beautiful child. Instead of seeing the child, he is having the experience of the self. He says, Viditosi bhavan sakshat purushah prakritev paraha kevala anubhavananda swarupa sarva buddhi dhrika. As Vasudeva says, I know you are the witness to my intellect. You are within me as pure non-dual experience. So, what is this phenomenon? Outwardly you see the figure, but inwardly you have self-realization. So, even though Ishvara manifests in a form, you realize the formless. That is the beauty of the form. That is the majesty of the form, spiritual power of the form. So, when Bhagavan came here, looked at Arunachala, Arunachala made him look at himself, his own real nature. Kandavan yavanana karuttinunnada, kandavan indridan indradu kandin. Inwardly, the enquiry happened. The quest started. What is this I? Who is this I who is looking? What is this that is dancing within me as I? The search took a deep dive inside, and there is the eternal effulgence of true Shiva, Arunachala. So Acharya Bhagavatpada entered Arunachala, and when he looked at the hill from a distance, see, yesterday we spoke about Jnana Sambandha. Another great saint is Guhai Namah Shivaya. You go to Virupaksha Guha, from there you come down, there is Guhai Namah Shivaya Matam there, and Guhai Namah Shivaya Samadhi, very powerful place. So Guhai Namah Shivaya belonged to Karnataka. So he was wandering all over India. And by walk he reached Tiruvannamalai and looked at Arunachala. He was caught. He couldn't move away. He couldn't go out. And he wanted to enter the temple. See, these Mahatmas, they will not simply walk inside temple taking 100 rupees ticket so that I can go first. No. They will wait till Ishvara calls. They will wait. Manikyavachakar went to Chidambaram. He wanted to enter Chidambaram. Nataraja said, you cannot come. You wait in the border. I will come to call you. I will invite you. And Manikyavachakar was waiting there doing japam, bhakti. One day an old man came. He came and told Manikyavachakar, I heard you have written so many works on Shiva Bhakti. Can you chant or sing some songs? He said, okay, I will chant. I don't have any order. In whatever order you want to sing, you sing. He was chanting Namah Shivaya, Namah Shivaya. He started like that, Namah Shivaya Varga, Nathantar Varga, Yimai Purudu in Nenjil Ningatantar Varga, Kogariyanda Gurumanidan Tar Varga. Just like that he started. And the old man said, can I write? So that I can remember. And he started writing. And singing like that in ecstasy, in samadhi, he just got absorbed in that state. When he opened his eyes, that old man was not there. Okay, he might have gone. And the written record also was not available. Next day morning in the temple, there are 5 steps, Panjakshara, Sopana. There this work was kept. And there was signature of Shiva as Tiruchitrambalam. So when the priests were about to open the temple, they saw these leaves. They asked, who has written this? Then an old man again came there and said, I know who has written that. I will take you to him. Saying this, but you should go there with all what they call Nagaswaram, Tawil, all musical instruments to receive him with great love. Because this is his last journey. He has given the clue to Manikyavachakar that when I call you, that will be your last day. So with all musical instruments, all celebration, with all paraphernalia, they went there to receive him. And you can see, if you go to Chidambaram, it is, I think, about 3-4 kilometers away from the temple. A very, what is the name of that place? Yapagarka. Where this old man brought all the 3,000 Brahmins along with him to receive Manikyavachakar. So when they went there, they asked him to come to Nataraja's Sannidhi and take that leaf and read and give the meaning. So all Manikyavachakar looked at this old man. By the time he recognized, and he was in ecstasy because he knew that he is going to drop this form. Just like a river merges in the ocean, I am going to merge with the divine. So with that love, he went with all the 3000 antanas, Brahmins, and went into the temple, and in that Sannidhi, he took the leaf, and the head priest said, "Can you give a commentary? Can you explain the meaning of this work to all of us?" He took that leaf, looked at Nataraja, and looked at that old Brahmin, and he said, "The meaning for this work is he." But the he was not there. It is he, and he just ended there. The story ended there. So that is Manikavachaka's story. So when Lord calls, then only they will enter the temple. Like that is Guhai Namashivaya also. When he came here, he wanted to enter the big temple. Arunachala said, then itself the problem of Tamil started. He said, "You have to sing a song in Tamil." He is from Karnataka. What to do? So he remained here, studied Tamil, and sang Arunachala Venba. After that only Arunachala permitted him to enter. Very beautiful song where he says, "I don't want to become the king of gods. I don't want to become even an emperor in the world. I will rather stay as a beggar in Tiruvannamalai streets. Have only Bhiksha. Vinnala petridinum vendem. Vanavarellam paniye vinnala petridinum vendem. Vannala petridinum vendem. Sonagiri Pittanar Sannadiki Uppili Kudundu Vajaperin, Pichai Undu Vajaperin, like that. So such a tradition we have in Arunachala. Apart from Rishikesh, Haridwar or Narmada Tira in south, Tiruvannamalai is the place where you have so many sadhus, bhikshus, bhikshavritti, nowhere else. Now all outer people have come to Tiruvannamalai. In fact, it is almost like a cultural invasion. Now you cannot even unearth the original Tiruvannamalai natives. They are very different. Very pure-hearted, very devout. Such people, they got mixed with the modern people. See, informally, nobody will call anyone with a name. They will call Shiva, Shiva, Shiva. Now you hear somewhere that? I think we don't hear at all. Very rarely we hear. Otherwise, even a tea shop person will call you Shiva. Shiva. They will call only Shiva, not any name. Now, madam, sir, even a dog calls madam. No Shiva. So it was all Shiva, Shiva only. So the natives, they had that cultural absorption. They have absorbed the bhakti, that yati dharma. Andi Perutta Annamalai. In Tamil, they say, Tiruvannamalai is full of sadhus. And Arunachala himself is a sadhu. Arunagiri Ishvara is a sadhu. Arunagiri Yogi is a sadhu. So, this kshetra, that Bhikshu Kula Tiraka or Bhikshu Kula Shikamani, as Acharya can be called, is the great jewel amongst bhikshus. He enters with almost thousands of monks. And looking at Arunachala, he expressed Padmapada, Shonachala is Shiva in the form of fire. The mere thought of Arunachala fills the heart with joy. Find out the route to reach there. They are looking at Arunachala about 30 kilometers away from Tirukoilur, from forest. So on the way, all kind of creatures are there. Deer, tiger, elephant, everything. Jnanasambandhar has sung like that. So many elephants, so many tigers, everything were there. Now we look like tiger. So at least deers, so many deers are there. So some tribals who collected rare herbs from the forest to sell them in towns arrived there at that time. In Tamil Atmatirtham we have put that song of Jnanasambandhar. So they spoke in a primitive dialect of a Dravidian language. Swami, see, Tiruvannamalai Tamil itself will look like a primitive dialect. Even Tamil people will find it to understand. Old Tamil in Tiruvannamalai itself is different. So, Swami, we will take you along with us, but the forest on the way is inhabited by wild animals. Rarely do men take this route, so we must be very careful. With their guidance, Acharya and the disciples walked from Trivikramapura to Arunachala. Trivikramapura is Tirukkoilur, where you see Vamana as Trivikrama, Ulagalanda Perumal. The forest had many rivers and big lakes. Herds of elephants and packs of jackals were seen roaming freely. As they walked further, Arunagiri seemed increasingly larger and clearer and appeared to assume various forms. One of the tribals said, Swami, this hill itself is Shiva. There are many ascetics here. The tribal hunters walked in front, narrating several interesting stories. Then Padmapada said, I have visited this place long back. And here, the ashram of Maharshi Gautama was there according to the Puranas, Maharshi Gautama stayed here. So, when you go around the hill, there is a place called Gautama Ashram. That is not the Gautama Ashram, according to the tradition. Those who know the thing. It is a Gautama temple. Real Gautama Ashrama is Pachayaman Koval. There is the Gautama Ashrama. Bhagavan narrates that story. When Divine Mother, she got separated from Shiva. We know, would curse. Then she went to Kashi and did service. First step of spiritual life is service. Look at everyone as divine and serve them. That she did as Annapurna. Then she came to Kanchipuram, did immense austerity as Kamakshi at the Ekamravana, a forest where there was only one mango tree. So in that Ekamravana she did tapas, and then she got the inner intuitive instruction to come to Tiruvannamalai. You can just imagine some divine lady with a divine radiance. She comes to Gautama Ashrama. It's actually Bhagavan's narration. When she comes to Gautama Ashrama, Gautama sage Gautama was not there. He went inside, you can imagine. From there he has come almost to Ramanacharanatirtha side, to the forest, inside to take twigs, fruits, etc. for his ashrama. So with his disciples he was here, and his son Shatananda was there in the ashram. But from inside the forest, Maharshi Gautama is looking towards his ashrama, and he finds the horizon, or we can say the sky lit with a divine comely light. So he tells his disciples, something is happening in our ashram, because Divine Mother has manifested there. She is coming inside. So Shatananda is coming running to Gautama. And Bhagavan's disciples, they used to say that Bhagavan, like a child, will become emotional. He will start sobbing. With tears, he will say that Shatananda coming to Gautama Maharshi in the forest, screaming and telling that Amma has come, the Divine Mother has come. So Gautama comes back to his ashrama, and Divine Mother does a namaskara to Gautama as Guru. And that Pachayaman Kovil, that spot, those who very closely know Tiruvannamalai, only they will know this story. That is the spot where Divine Mother met Gautama Maharshi, where she had Gautamar Potrum Karunai Ma Malaye Kadaikani Talvai Arunachala. So there they had that divine meeting. So from after that she merged in Arunachala. This is the story. So all these things Acharya heard. The peace prevailing in Arunachala touched Acharya. They did pradakshina. In those days, pradakshina was different. Not this simple, this nearby circuit. There was about 365 ponds. Now you have small ponds around. There was about 365 ponds around Arunachala. And you have to take bath in every pond. Yesterday somebody asked, Swami, you have to take bath thrice? Trishavana Mudako Pasparishi. The Veda says 3 times you take bath. That itself is a great horror. But 365 baths, don't fear, it is not one day. You can take 365 days to do one pradakshina. Doing japa, and everywhere there was a Shivalinga, doing tapasya everywhere, taking bath in every tirtha, going round Arunachala. Very nice pradakshina. Not 14 kilometers in a stretch. All forest, very slowly you go round the hill, staying in all these spots, and pradakshina, very nice pradakshina that you can do. See, when we went to Chitrakuta, it's a very beautiful place where Rama stayed. It is near Prayaga. And there, the Guha where Bhagavan Rama stayed, it's all there, very beautiful cave, very huge cave. And Chitrakuta, there is a giri, a hill called Kamadagiri. You have to do pradakshina to Kamadagiri. And it is only 5 kilometers. No vehicle will come, you can just walk around the Kamadagiri. And Kamadagiri is also considered as Shiva. So we went around Kamadagiri 5 kilometers, and some devotees were remarking, if Arunachala is only this much, that would have. So it's only 5 kilometers. So they came to Arunachala. The jungle around was beautiful, lovely, and with clear streams, and was home to birds like peacocks and cuckoos. The sound of animals such as elephants, tigers and bears, and the loud noise of monkeys filled the entire forest. Now also certain aspects are there, not tiger or cheetah. Everyone felt that even the wind blowing here was chanting the Panchakshara. Namah Shivayeti Dhunoti Mayam Prabhanjanopyatra Shivam Tanoti. Acharya enjoyed the fragrance of Shivanubhava. Here no one came to disturb them with request to engage in debates. Thanks. Arunachala Acharya had good rest. It was not famous at that time. So, only mendicant ascetics wearing saffron robes and holy ash, carrying kamandala in their hands were seen here and there. This was a Tiruvannamalai, even about 20 years back, nothing else. Only sadhus will be there. Acharya walked around the hill, and thus he completed the circumambulation, the pradakshina. Then they stayed there. Acharya stayed in absolute mauna. According to the traditions of sannyasa ashrama, after the morning ablutions and wearing the kashaya vastra, Shankara Bhagavad-pada sat with the kamandala and the staff and with holy ash smeared all over, looking like the great Lord Shiva himself. Even lessons on the Bhashyas were not held here. Acharya's Mauna was itself best commentary on the Upanishads. For a period, Acharya remained in profound mystic silence. In Chinmudra here. This Chinmudra in Dakshinamurti-Stotram, Bhagavad-pada says, what is Chinmudra of Dakshinamurti? It is, as Bhagavan calls it, as the eye current. It is, outwardly it is this. This thumb and this finger, you keep it like this. Generally they call it Chinmudra. With like this Dakshinamurti sits. But real Chinmudra is, Chit is the current of I within. That pure I, the pure throb of I within. That aham spurti, as Bhagavan calls it. So, just emanating that spurti, a Jivan Mukta abides in Maunam, and that is the greatest moment of teaching. Those who can receive it, they can receive it. That's all. As Paul Brendan says, when he first came to Bhagavan, he said, you will be lit in that presence. It's just like you carry some dry grass and fire is put in inside, it will get the fire. Like that, you will be inwardly lit with the fire of knowledge in the presence of Bhagavan's Maunam. So, Acharya stayed here in Maunam for some days. After a while, Acharya wrote the Dakshinamurti-Stotra. See, the Dakshinamurti-Stotra, when I wrote a commentary to Dakshinamurti-Stotra, Bhagavan has translated Dakshinamurti-Stotra to Tamil. Very beautiful translation. When we wrote the commentary, we saw in day by day, Bhagavan says, I wanted to write a commentary to Dakshinamurti-Stotram, but somehow it didn't happen. Instead, he gave a translation in Tamil for Dakshinamurti-Stotram, just putting a stamp. Arivinil, no. There Dakshinamurti Bhagavan calls as Balan. This is. So, Tazhal Viji Guruvamanda Dakshinamurti Potri. His very eyes are fire. So that Dakshinamurti Stotram, Bhagavad-pada gave the highest Upadesha. That the entire cosmos, the entire world is like a reflection in mirror. Just as you have a huge banyan tree inside a small seed, like that the entire creation is there inside, in the linga sharira, in the mind. When the mind comes out, everything comes out. When the mind merges, everything merges. So the Maunam, the silence of Dakshinamurti, Bhagavad-pada says, sound has 4 planes, para, pashyanti, madhyama, vaikari. When we are talking, this is vaikari. Before that, they are there inside me as ideas. That is pashyanti vak, madhyama vak. And then deeper within, there is only a throb, an intention. Then there is that profound silence. From the profound silence, the first throb arises, then it takes the form, germinates as ideas, then it comes out as sound. So, para pashyanti madhyama vaikari, chatvari vak parimita padani, tani vidur brahmana ye manishinaha. Only the realized beings, they know all the planes of Shabda. In Bible also they say, there is a very profound, you can say, a verse in the very beginning. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. It's almost like translation there. And it's the primordial Shabda, the Shabda Brahma. It is one with Brahman. It is Brahman. It is Shabda Brahma. Vag Vai Prajapati. Vak itself is Bhagavan. So, Brahman or the Self has to be mystically conveyed by the Para only. Para Pashyanti Madhyama. Para is the state of Brahmajnani. First you listen to the truth, that the very Self is Brahman. Then you absorb the knowledge, contemplate it, absorb the knowledge, assimilate it and become one with it. Then you don't no more think about it. You are that. So, Shrotavyaha, Mantavyaha, Nididhyasitavyaha, Nirvikalpa Jnane Statavyaha. Sahaja Nirvikalpa Jnane Nishta Kartavya. So, this is the step. So, knowers of the highest order constantly remain in the realm of Para and Pashyanti. Either they remain in Para or in Pashyanti Vak and never lose awareness of these two domains. Even when they come down to the realm of Madhyama and Vaikari, even when they talk, even when they write, they carry, their words are filled with the power of that Mauna, the silence. Even the silence of a Jnani emanates Paravak. So actually, Mauna doesn't mean silence. Mauna is not simply silence. It is not talking. Whether you talk, whether you don't talk, that silence will not get interrupted. Pandityam nirvidya balyena tishtaset. The first step, the Shruti says, the person completely listens, understands and absorbs the knowledge, and with the power of that knowledge he stays. Balyam cha nirvidya munihi. Then he becomes a Mauni. Then the contemplation arises. Maunam gachet. He becomes Muni. Amaunam cha, nirvidya. Then he completely becomes very natural. Even if he is in silence or talking, the Mauna, the silence will be there. Kunjaswami used to say, when Bhagavan talks, the dhara, even when he talks, the current of silence, the current of Mauna will be underneath like a river. You can get initiated by that current. Hence, his silence is uninterrupted eloquence. It is the song of the soul. Mature seekers relish his silence more than his words. Listening to this profound exposition, Sureshwara requested Acharya to instruct him on the principle of Dakshinamurti. Thus, Acharya wrote the Dakshinamurti-Stotra. And in this Dakshinamurti-Stotra, is a very, although it contains only 9 and Mahatmya with 10 verses, it is itself a very profound Vedantic work. There we can take one verse where Bhagavad-pada gives the clear teaching of Atma Vichara. Balyadishvapi jagradadishu tatham sarvasu avasthasvapi vyavrittasu anuvartamanam ahamityantaspurantam sadam Svatmanam prakatīkaroti bhajadām yo mudraya bhadraya tasmai Shri Gurumurtaye namaitam Shri Dakshinamurtaye. When I was a child, when I become a youth, when I reach the middle age, when I grow old, the body undergoes so many changes. In fact, the body completely changes. Although we think I am the same person, clinically you cannot prove that. When the body was only 3 years old, the same body material, if you test when it is 30 years old, record wise they will say this is another person. Because every cell has changed. Everything has changed. And the mind, not to speak about it, it has changed. Lot of changes. But I say I am the same. This is the anuvritti, pratyabhijna. I am the same person. The feeling I am the same remains. I am changeless remains. The body, if you take the photo of a small baby, my own photo, I cannot recognize. Somebody else has to say it is your photo. Elders, I cannot recognize. Who is this? That is not the person. See, this figure you can see, I cannot see. The body is not real to me. The body is not real to you. Others look at it. Parapratyaksha. What you know about yourself is only your own existence as I am, as aham. Simple I. And that remains changeless in infanthood, in youth, in middle age, in old age, it remains changeless. So too the waking state, the dream state, the deep sleep state, all these states come and go. The undercurrent of I remains changeless. The I am, the aham remains changeless. Balyadishvapi jagradadishu tatha sarvasu avastasvapi vyavrittasu anuvartamanam aham iti antaspurantam sada swatmanam prakatikaroti bhajatam yo mudraya bhadraya tasmai Shri Gurumurtaye namaidam Shri Dakshinamurtaye. He shines forth with that mudra of aham, aham, I. In Sanskrit we say aham. That word itself contains everything. The language begins with, alphabet begins with a and ends with ha. And if you close the mouth, So aham means I. It means whole, complete. All the shabda, everything, all the syllables, they are all there. Every letter is there inside it. So it is complete. Ahamiti antaspurantam sada. Swatmanam prakati karoti. He is shining. Actually, Brihadaranyaka Upanishad says, Upanishad gives a meaning to Upanishad. What is Upanishad? We will say 10 Upanishads. Isha, Kena, Katha, Mundaka, Prashna, Mandukya, Taittiriya, Aitareya, Brihadaranyaka, Chandogya, and add more, Shvetashvatara, Kaivalya, Muktika Upanishad, and more, hundreds of Upanishads. You can add. And what is the Upanishad? Upanishad is Atma Vidya. Sankaracharya gives the meaning for Upanishad. What is Upanishad? It is Saderdhatoho Visharanagati Avasadanartasya Kvipratyayantasya Upanipurvasya Kvipratyayantasya Rupam Upanishad iti. This is the derivation which he gives. The dhatu is Sad. And what does it mean? It means Visharana Gati Avasadana. We are not going deep into it. It just means destruction of ignorance. And Upanishad means what? Natu Shabda Rashihi. It is Brahmajnana is meant. Upanishad means Jnanam. But Upanishad gives a definition to Upanishad. Upanishad says, what is Upanishad? It says, Aham iti Upanishad. Brihadaranyaka says, Aham iti Upanishad. What is felt inside you as Aham, it is the smallest form of Upanishad which contains everything. Shabda Yoni, it is the source for the Vedas. Shastrayonitvat. From that all the Shastras arise, from that the whole universe creation arises, there it stays, there it merges back, and that existence is Upanishad. So, the Upanishad is already there within you as your own existence, as your own Swarupa, as the Nitya Shuddha Buddha Mukta Swabhavam Brahma, as your own Atma. So that is the Upanishad, that is your Swarupa. It remains changeless, ahamiti, mudraya badraya, as the pure Chin Mudra, it is shining forth within. So this is the Dakshinamurti Rahasya. When the person knows that, then he wakes up from the dream, because the world creation is full of dream. Vishvam pashyati karyakaranataya. You go to science, you will find cause and effect. Every effect as a cause. With that only we trace. So the world on one side, one dimension, it appears as cause and effect. Karyakaranataya. Then you go to office, you have a superior officer. Swami sambandhataha. Or in the beginning, bhakti, I and God. Then you come to spiritual tradition, Shishya Acharya as disciple and teacher. Then house, my father, my mother, Pitru Putradi Atmana Bhedadaha. All the differences as father, mother, child, brother, sister. And leave it and go to sleep. In dream this continues. This is Dvaita. Swapane Jagradiva. Some person is disturbing you, go to sleep. My God, he is disturbing even in dream. Swapane Jagradiva yesha purushaha maya paribhramitaha. By the deluding power of Maya, the person is in trouble, whether in waking state or in dream state. And in sleep, of course, it all ends. Wake up from that dream. Tasmai Shri Gurumurtaye Namaidam Shri Dakshinamurtaye. So this Dakshinamurti-Stotra, although it is a stotra, you know the Dakshinamurti-Stotram, you will have Sarvatmatva Mahavibhuti. Manifestation of Sarvatmatva means you realize, I am the self in all. The self in me is the self in all. I am one with the entire creation, the entire cosmos. I am one with the entire cosmos. This realization comes to a jnani by the knowledge of what the Dakshinamurti-Stotra speaks. So, Sarvatmatva Mahavibhuti Sahitam Syad Sarvatmattvamiti Sputikritamidam Yasmad Amushmin Save Tenasya Shravanad. You listen to it, Tadartha Maranad. You contemplate on its meaning, Sankirtanad. Every day you sing it. Sarvatmatva Mahavibhuti Sahitam Syad Ishwaratvam. Absolute control. The mind gains that knowledge of the self, and then perhaps you will get the 8 siddhis also, occult powers also. Sometimes you come here, you will get this, you will get that, people will come. So actually these 8 siddhis are there in nature. So a jnani will never desire for that. When he realizes the self, all these siddhis are my siddhis only. It all belongs to me. But syad, if needed, they can manifest. If needed, for whom? Sometimes for the sake of blessing the disciple, some siddhi can manifest in a great master. In Bhagavan, this siddhi of Mauna was there. That is a great siddhi. When people came to him, their mind became still, silent, and he remained absorbed in that Mauna. That is a great siddhi. So some siddhi can manifest. Dakshinamurti Siddhi was there in Bhagavan. It is also a manifestation of Shakti. In Lalita Sahasranama, one name for Divine Mother is Dakshinamurti Namaha. That is a tattva. So Bhagavan manifested that power of Mauna. In certain Mahatmas, so many powers manifest, like prema, love. Tremendous willpower. And one of the greatest power that Bhagavan's disciples had is anima. Anima, you know, anima means very, very becoming small. Nobody can see. They will be here, but you will not see them. Many of Bhagavan's direct disciples were here. Nobody noticed them. They remained very peaceful and disappeared. Now we say about Kunju Swami, Kanakamma, Arunachala Swami. But when I was sitting with Kunju Swami, only I will be there. With Arunachala Swami, only I will be there. Some other, few people, not much. With Kanakama also, absolutely nobody. And one day in Ramana Ashram, one person was asking me that some teacher has come with so many disciples. He is a realized person. He is an enlightened person. All these things he was asking. What can we say? Right before him, Kanakama was going like this. And he was not at all paying attention to it. And everybody knows that she stayed with Bhagavan. She had the experience of Samadhi in front of Bhagavan. Not at all noticing. And somebody comes from outside with all paraphernalia, propagation. And your attention goes there. So, strangely, many people who were with even Muruganar, they used to say, nobody came there. Very few. So, they had the power of anima. Anima, according to me, is a great blessing that you can stay undisturbed. You can stay, if you need it, you can stay alone. Anima, Mahima, Vari. It's all, I will give it a different meaning. Altogether a different meaning. Garima means, I will say it's Guru Bhakti. People say Garima means you become heavy like a mountain. Do you want that Siddhi? And Lagima means your body will become like cotton. What is this? There's a trouble. It means lightness comes to you. Through Jnanam, great lightness comes to you. Simplicity comes to you. You become utterly simple. Vashitva means all the senses are put in order. Ishitva means Ishwar Bhakti. You surrender to Bhagavan. And all the desires are given up. That is prakamyam. And prapti is getting grounded in self-realization. Bhumitva labha. So all this comes to a person by absorbing the knowledge of Dakshinamurti-Stava. This is the conclusion of this. So, thus Bhagavad Pada stayed for some days in Arunachala and moved towards Kalahasti. It is near Tirupati, and there it is the Vayu Lingam, and from there to Kanchipuram. Kanchipuram, there was some sabha, some meeting with the devotees, some great souls coming to see him. Some renaissance movement happened in Kanchi. That we will see tomorrow. Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala, Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala Shiva, Arunachala.